I don't think that you're keeping this in the recording.
Yeah. No, I will keep this in the recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the best part. The candid part's the best about this. All right, so hello, everybody. Dude, it's so weird to not have the microphone right in front of me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Teenage Catholic Podcast. I'm Matthew. I'm here with my friend John. So I understand that we've been absent for a little bit. I've been working on ways to, kind of combat the fact that Joe and Brendan and I are currently attending 3 different schools in 3 different areas. And so my way to combat that is to kick them off the show and to bring John on. So John is one of my friends here at Penn State, one of the students who goes to school with me here, fellow Newmanite, fellow Catholic. John, you want to introduce yourselves to the people a little bit?
Sure. So I'm John. I'm from Pennsylvania, a Pennsylvania native. So I met Matthew here at college. I run the theology group currently at Penn State. Active in my faith. Grew up in a good Catholic family. Went to Catholic school, high school. Continue to be active here at Penn State. So I know of some things, a little bit of theology, can answer some questions here or there. But more importantly, active in the faith, going to mass and stuff like that.
I know some things. Yeah, John is the resident theologian here. So that's why I chose. He doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to admit that he's the resident theologian, but he is.
It's a daunting task.
We do have 2 priests here. So like if the priests weren't here, John would be our resident theologian. So
I mean, most of the time I go to the priests and the questions that I'm asking them too, they're like, honestly, give it your best. I think this is the case.
Yeah. No, the number of times that I've asked John something and he's like, I don't want to be spouting heresy or sending you to hell, but like, this is my opinion on what you just said. So
or this is my best knowledge on the
this is my best answer. Which I mean, honestly, is kind of fair. So
like the one time we were talking about the substance and accidents to the Eucharist. And I went to Father and I was like, so the form and matter, because substance, this is a little bit, for those, just as an introduction, I do philosophy. And so we were talking about important part of the sacraments, form and matter, which has to do with substance. And I was asking, well, like, are the form and matter of the Eucharist, so the form being the soul and divinity and the matter being the body and blood? And Father was like, I'm pretty sure. I've never thought about it that way, but I'm like 80 to 90% sure you're correct.
The way you had described that at TNT had made I get it that I'm like a more philosophically inclined individual. So the way you said it made sense to me, but whatever. So anyway, John and I are going to be trying to keep TCP up and going while we're here. It's something that I started my senior year with Brendan because we looked at the online internet world and we were like, hey, there's stuff for children for sure. Sunday school lessons and all that kind of stuff, and stuff for parents and their children. And there's stuff for young adults at like 25 to 30 young adults, but there's never, and still to this day, isn't really anything for teenagers. There's nothing for those, 14 to at 25, like I'll say it, 14 to 25-year-olds, and I get it, that's a just super wide gap. Even 14 to 18 is one thing, 18 to 20 is another, and 20 to 25 is, they're all separate. But like, there's nothing there for any of them. And so that's going to be the intent that John and I have, is just to kind of, hey, look, everyone in that age range is Gen Z. So we're all the same generation. And so I think so, right? 14 to 25. Yeah. It is. I think it's 96 was the start of Gen Z.
Yo, man, I don't know.
That's crazy. People who are about to turn 30 are Gen Z. Yo, I bet the boomers feel really old.
Well, when does Gen Alpha start? I have no clue.
I thought that was 2012 it would be, right? Because is it 16 or 18 years in a generation?
Then we're almost about to, 14-year-olds are almost Gen Alpha. Like 13-year-olds technically are Gen Alpha then. Because 2012 was 13 years ago.
I gotta look this up.
Hey, yo, Jamie, can you clip that?
Yeah, right. Hey, Jamie.
Can we pull that up?
Gen Alpha is the first to be born entirely of the 21st century. When does it start?
Because there's no way we are definitely Gen Z.
The early 2010s is starting birth years?
There you go. Then some of your listeners would be Gen Alpha then.
There's no consensus yet on the birth years, McCrindle, who's the first guy who started this, uses 2010 to 2014, 2011. Oh, I'm sorry, 2010 to 2024, 2011 to 2024.
Yeah. Dang, that was 14 years ago.
Yeah, 2010 to 2024. Yo, so how about that? So it's 20. So then it's 2025 right now.
Yeah.
So what are we giving birth to right now? Gen Beta?
I have no.
You're a beta male, Sonic. Anyway.
This is what I learned Greek for, is just so that I can go, hey, this is the order of Greek letter, right?
Alpha, beta, zeta,
Gamma,
epsilon,
gamma, delta, epsilon.
omnicorn. Anyway, do you remember the omnicorn variant of COVID? I probably can't say that. We'll probably get demonetized. I don't think we have enough viewers to get demonetized.
I don't even know what that is, Matthew.
Anyway, with all of that being said, so John and I are hopefully going to, bring memeisms about and all of the humor and that kind of stuff of, like, we want to make this sort of cultivating a place for the unserious Catholicism. I don't know how to say that in like the proper way that, like, yeah, Catholicism is important, but like, it's not go to mass, read the Bible, and you're not allowed to have any alcohol. That's it. That's like the end of the story, full stop, period, is that like, you're not allowed to have any fun because you're Catholic. I've seen this a lot, especially at college.
Mm-hmm.
Like in high school, it was very easy because I was like the only Catholic at my high school. I don't want to say I was the only Catholic. Like it was me, Brendan, and Joe. There were like 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah,
we were Catholics, and so we would hang out with each other, and so we could have fun with each other. But then we get up here, and there's so many other people from, so many different states and so many different areas and backgrounds of life, and it's like you have some people who are, their heads are in the sand, and there are some people who are like they're scared of Catholicism because they don't want to do anything wrong, and so it's a sort of like, at risk of sounding cringe, like openness to everybody, not in the sense of like, oh, I don't care that you're a sinner, that's fine, you can keep doing those sins, not in that sense, but in the sense of like, I don't care where you come from, like, I just want to joke with you, right? Like, we can both enjoy these Catholic memes.
Well, yeah, and it's looking at, I see that a lot at college. Sometimes there's 2 extremes, and you can even see this. I could see this also in high school life too. Is, oh, you're either practicing your faith or you're a normal person.
Yeah,
like
yeah. That's so like the normal. This is what I call the patented weird and patented normal person behavior, and it's like I've been saying this a lot this year, is this what I call patented weird person behavior. And that's like, it's what my brother calls antisocial behavior. And it's like when you do things that everyone looks at it and it's like, hey, that's weird, right? That's weird person behavior. But then what's normal person behavior? And it's just like, it's normal things that normal people do. It's this thing about like, I think it was Justice Antonin Scalia, right? Peace be upon him.
wild.
But and I think it was him. I'm not sure, but there was this whole thing about like defining what pornography is to the. You know exactly what I'm going to say. And it's like, I think it was Scalia, and he says like, I can't define it for you, but I can tell it to you. Like I can show it to you.
I know when I see it.
Yes, and so that's the thing, is like, hey, you can't really do that with that kind of thing, right? You need to have a strict definition on that, because at what point are the horny teenagers going to be like, oh, I don't think it's porn because I don't see it, right? But that's the same thing with like this normal person behavior, is that like everyone knows when normal person behavior is normal person behavior, and everyone knows when weird person behavior is weird person behavior. And if they don't, then like you need to reset your cringe alarms, your cringe radars, right? Like you need to
cringe conscience.
Yeah, you need to like reset yourself in what is like properly ordered to human society. It's like, is what you're doing conducive to humans flourishing and to your spiritual flourishing? If the answer is no, then that's weird person behavior. And so that's the sort of thing about like, I can't really define it for you. I guess I kind of just did, but like you kind of know it when you see it. But that's back to your point, is like, yeah, that's so true. Of you get to college and it's like, Catholics are the quote unquote doing the weird person behavior, because we're not partying like everyone else, and we're not doing drugs and alcohol and sex like everyone else. And it's like, yeah, but that's normal person behavior, because that's ordered towards a proper thing, and that's right. And so we're the normal people here. And so I think that's something that, yeah, you run into, and sure, we don't get a lot of people who will show up to adoration as compared to, say, like the Super Bowl, when we have the Super Bowl party.
or like some fun social event.
Yeah. Like, hey, everyone, we're going to go, I don't know, it's Dunk Tank with Father Joachim today or something like that. I don't know, right? I bet that would get a lot more people than like Solemn High Mass. Hopefully one day we'll have Solemn High Mass here, but
yeah, I think the point being of a lot of times you can think of it, what you were saying is like in the intention of the podcast is that thinking it's Catholicism is only the things you do when you're in the chapel.
Right.
And in the chapel, you're not there to like have a fun time. You may have a great time
Right.
for the fact that you're with Christ, but you don't generally think of it as like,
no, you're here for
fun.
you're here for a good time, not a fun time.
Yeah. But then you think, like, since we only sometimes associate Catholicism with those moments when you're in the chapel, it's like you're missing out on this whole side of life.
Yeah.
Like Catholicism is meant, I think it's St. Athanasius. The glory of God is man fully alive. And that's what I think we run into a lot of times. It's like, oh, I have to be doing like we religion ourselves to death.
Yeah.
And not living a life.
I'm not allowed to do this fun thing because it feels, I don't know, scrupulosity, I think is something that not a lot of people struggle with, generally speaking, right? Like you're not going to run into someone who's like I drank too much water today. That's gluttony, right? Like you're not going to, but there are people out there who I'm sure struggle with that for sure, right? And it's a terrible thing that they have to deal with that. But like, you don't run into that. It's the sort of thing about like, hey, there's this party that I got invited to. Am I allowed to go to that or not? And it's like, why not? This is a sort of thing where, or, one of our friends, it was Ignacio, right? He went out, shout out Ignacio. He went up to Father Joe and he was like, oh, Father, am I allowed to like pretend to be someone I'm not? And Father Joachim was like, it depends what you mean. Like, you're not allowed to, impersonate a priest, but like you're allowed to, I don't know, like you could walk around in a baseball uniform and tell people like, yeah, I'm a baseball player, if it means like you're bringing them to God, or like you don't want to be lying to people, but it depends what your intention is for sure. And I was like, all right, dude, Nacho, look, I'm going to lay this out for you. Do you remember what teleology is? And he was like, good pull. No. And I was like, okay, well, so let's break this down. Have you ever heard of Aristotle's four causes? And he was like, yeah, I think I have. I was like, can you recall them for me? He was like, yeah, so you have matter. I was like, right, material cause, what it's made of. And he was like, I don't remember any of the rest of it. I was like, cool, this is fine. This is a learning moment. Your formal cause, the shape it takes, the form it takes, the efficient cause, how it's done, the effect that has been done on it. And then the final cause, the telos, the teleology is the study of the final cause. What it's for? Yes. What is this for? And so that's the kind of thing that I run into all the time. It's like, am I allowed to do this thing? Like, what is it for? Why are you doing it? And is it a good thing that you're doing? And so he had asked something about like, I forget exactly what he had asked about, but he was doing evil. Good ends do not justify evil means. Oh, and I was like, yeah, that's true, but there are some things that aren't inherently evil. Like, is a baseball bat evil? And he was like, well, it could be. I was like, no, it can't be. Let's walk through this.
It's not intrinsic.
Right. What's the formal and material and efficient cause of a baseball bat? And he told me, I was like, so what's the final cause of a baseball bat? He was like, to hit things. I was like, no. It's to hit baseballs,
yeah.
Right? And so if you're going to whale someone on top of the head with a baseball bat, you're disordering the baseball bat, right? And so it's the same kind of thing that I run into here. It's like, what are you for, right? You're here to know God, love God, and serve God in this life, to be happy with him the next. Is whatever you're doing helping you know God, love God, and serve God? And that can take like a variety of different, maybe you're building friendship with someone. Maybe that party you're going to go to, you're going to meet someone and you're going to bring them to church next week, right? And that's the kind of thing about like, no, I'm not saying go do the drugs because maybe you'll meet someone who needs Jesus in their life. But I am saying that like normal person behavior is having fun at least a little bit in your life. And this is why I meme so. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm one of the most unserious people in Newman.
It depends on the moment. It depends on the moment.
The situation. So like I can be very serious.
Work hard, play hard.
See, if we're talking, yeah, right? Practice. I don't need no practice, but that's the thing is like, okay, hey, we're talking about the liturgy. Like, I'm being serious about that. We're talking about Most of the time I'm being serious about that. But we're talking about like anything else. And I'll look at you and I'll be like, yeah, vegetables are poisonous for you. And everyone will look at me and be like, what, Matthew, what the heck are you talking about? And I'll be like, no, I'm being dead serious right now. Vegetables are poisonous for you. And so like everyone knows like, okay, don't listen to Matthew right now. He's saying vegetables are poisonous for you. And obviously he doesn't mean that, but like, yes, I do.
For the record,
Vegetables are poisonous for you.
for the record, there are a number of times where I will just not pick up on the social cue, and Matthew is literally just trolling me by arguing some point that's completely like he knows that I know is wrong and I know that he knows is wrong. He'll just argue it. And I'm like, what do you mean? This is not the case.
The Novus Ordo is invalid. What do you mean?
And I'm like, bro, like we both know this is correct. I just don't pick up on it, but he's not being
I
serious.
think that's just called autism.
I
Probably I suffer from that too sometimes. But
Hey, I'm saying you're throwing stuff right up my alley. 4 causes. I was literally talking at the Aristotle seminar that I'm in this week. We were talking about the 4 causes. I'm like, that's my thing. But yeah, the thing that you bring up is because I think one of the things that I think is we fall into as Catholics, and I think is also a fall that a lot of Christians fall into sometimes, is they miss the first part of what you talked about when you cited the Baltimore Catechism.
oh, yeah.
Is that we
Love
have
myself,
life,
Baltimore Catechism.
we have life now. That life, we are not just holding out for eternity.
Right.
Like God hasn't given us something now.
Right.
And it's like part of loving God. Like it is the expression of our faith now, being joyful now. What attracts people to the faith is not sitting in a room for an hour.
Yeah, do you know that Simpsons meme, the difference between Protestant heaven and Catholic heaven?
Oh, yeah.
It's like Protestant heaven is like these hillbillies jumping around. No, to be fair, that probably is what Protestant heaven looks like. No, I'm sorry. Protestant heaven is whatever makes Protestants happy on earth is what will be in heaven. So whether that's chocolate cake or I don't know.
What the amount of questions I've gotten about will this be in heaven? And I'm like, I don't think you
No, heaven is just mass, guy. Like that's it's just okay. Do you know that feeling you get when you go to mass? No. Okay, pay attention a little harder at mass, and that's time. Anyway, the feeling you're supposed to get when you go to mass, when you get to like receive Jesus, and he's like in you, when you get to like Jesus becomes part of you for those few minutes. Like, imagine that all the time. You can't. Right. Yeah, that's okay. Notice how we can't imagine heaven, so stop trying.
Eye has not seen, ear has not heard what God has prepared for those who love Him.
It's total ecstasy.
Yeah.
Not the drug, guys. No, we're not talking about that. But so, I forget what we were talking about. Baltimore Catechism, no love served.
Well, I was saying that we are supposed to live a life now. And that in living, like what I said again, I believe it's St. Athanasius, the glory of God is man fully alive.
Yeah.
That we're not holding out for eternity. Like as in, I just gotta like cross my fingers and hope I don't commit mortal sin until I die. It's like, no, God made you for a purpose. There's the parable of the servants where he gives them each talents, and the one just goes and buries his. And the master is like, what did you do? Like, why did you do this? Because God has given us a gift, the gift of life that we get to experience. Like, God is a father that wants to see us enjoy life. That doesn't mean enjoy it like go out and like waste it, because God wants to give you a life that is so overflowing that it's not just like, as you said, like partying, like drinking or something like that. But that doesn't mean that those things are inherently wrong. It means God wants to order them correctly.
Right. Well, drinking is an inherently good thing. Let's get that straight. Alcohol is awesome. If it weren't awesome, Jesus wouldn't have made himself that.
Under accident, put himself under the accident.
If alcohol were, checkmate Protestants. Actually, if alcohol were really bad for you, Jesus would have taken a cup of grape juice at the final supper. He would have taken at the Last Supper. He would have taken a cup of literally the final supper. He would have taken a glass of milk or something that wasn't alcohol. Checkmate Protestant.
There's a meme somewhere that's alcohol is part of my religion.
That's in Mandalorian meme or something like that. The thing you said about the towns reminds me. You know who Dave Ramsey is? He's like the investing guru. And be like, excuse me, Dave, I'm like $1 million in debt, and he's like, all right, well, the thing you want to do is you want to sell the car. You're not allowed to have any more kids for the next 2 years until you pay off those college loans. You got to pick up another job. Your wife's got to pick up a job.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's that guy. And so when you said about the talents, it's like, so you buried the talent your master gave you in the ground? Yes, Dave. And you didn't put it in the bank? That's correct, Dave. And then he's like mean mugging the camera. It's like, why'd you do that for? Yeah, real. All right, Dave. But yeah, dude, I'm here for the memes. That's what I'm here for. So with that being said, let's get this started. Do you remember the saint rankings that were sent the chat the other day?
It was,
So we're gonna revisit that right now.
for reference, as I mentioned, I'm in charge of the current leader for the Thursday Night Theology group. So if we refer to it as TNT, that's what it is, Thursday Night Theology. It has been passed down to me from many venerable predecessors.
I'm still kicked out of the chat. You need to add me back into the chat.
You were memeing too.
I was doing no such thing.
I can't believe
I have been unjustly removed from the chat.
Matthew was using his free will inappropriately.
That is so not. This is calumny. This is just absolute slander. This is libel. I don't know. Well, I guess slander is spoken. This is slander.
What is this? The old Spider-Man movie? It's not slander. Slander is spoken. It's libel.
All right, JJ. You gotta add me back to that chat.
Yeah,
I probably should have checked. This is how much preparation we did today.
Yeah. For reference,
How long have I been out of this? I've been out for like a week and a half.
you've been out for because it was at Champs. So
It was last. Yeah.
you missed. I don't know if you missed a lot.
Has that Muslim guy come back in?
Yeah. Well, I know. There's a friend of mine who was mentioning just some questions.
Oh my gosh, the AI slop. That's just. Oh my gosh.
The amount of AI slop was wild. Yes, just as a side note for all teenagers, one of the reasons you shouldn't use AI is just because it is just totally bad for us because it is faking thinking.
Yeah. So I saw an article the other day and I didn't really look into it. I don't actually know what the article says. I didn't read it. I just saw the headline and the headline supports my view. So I would like to encourage people to go read this headline. And so it was basically that, people who are asked to write an essay by themselves, asked to write an essay using Google, and asked to write an essay using AI, they were given like those little brain node things. And it was like people who used AI were using basically 0% of their brain. People who were using Google were using slightly less than people who were writing it by themselves. And people who were writing it by themselves were using basically their full brain power. I don't actually know if that's what the study found. That's what I interpreted the article. All right, look, I'll be a little Protestant. My interpretation of that article supports my view that AI just makes you not use your brain at all. I was reading, and it's like, okay, but that actually makes sense, right? Because if you think about it, when you Google something, you then come out with an answer, right? So if I'm looking up how do I boil an egg, I now have to watch a YouTube video or read instructions on how to boil an egg. Like step by step, and it will basically be right. There's almost no misinformation for that kind of stuff on Google anymore, right? Should I vaccinate my kid? Am I allowed to say that? Probably not. I'm gonna get demonetized.
Bing is a different monster altogether.
How do I boil an egg? Boil an egg, more like boil yourself. Quote Bing. So anyway, but like, yeah, how do I boil an egg? It's like AI will just give you the answer. And there's nothing required. It's like, you just follow step by step. Google, you have to at least read something. You have to know exactly what it is you're supposed to look up, right? You can't go into Google and be like, my eggs are 2 weeks old. What am I supposed to make with them, right? There's a sort of background knowledge that you need to know what you have to look up. There's a little more brain function. I don't know if this is making any sense or if I'm just coping. AI, you just kind of spit into it whatever you want, and it spits back whatever you want to hear, regardless of hallucinations from AI, regardless of just total misinformation, right? It'll make things up. And so AI is bad for you. Anyways, so I digress.
For this small group that I lead on theology, come to me from many venerable predecessors. There was a question in there about saints ranking list of like your top saints. Now, this is not saying a definitive who is the most holy.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, actually. We will make the definitive who is the most holy list once you're done with this spiel.
Okay, and it was some of people's favorite saints, and so this is where the idea of that Matthew got where it came from.
Okay, I'm gonna text this to you so that you have the list right in front of you.
Okay.
John.
Matthew's about to make me commit like some minor.
It's not heresy if it's just a joke, okay?
Quote, like what, Arius or like?
No, Arius is being serious, right? Right. Like if Arius weren't being serious, he wouldn't have just been absolutely knocked out by Santa Claus. All right. So this is a list that we have right now.
Barring from Cross.
From Crab. So the number one is, of course, Mary. Number two is Joseph. And then number 3 is John the Baptist. Number 4 is John the Beloved. Number 5 is Abraham. 6 is Peter. 7 is Paul. 8 is Moses. 9 is Elijah. 10 is Isaiah. What do we think about this list? Who is it missing? I think there's a very clear answer for someone that it's missing. I don't know if I can say someone. For a saint that is missing from this list very clearly. Mm-hmm. What do we think about the order? You know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah. Well, so let's just go through this top 10 right now. Who doesn't belong on this list right now?
Well, I want to start off actually by talking very obviously. I'm not sure some people may know this or not. There's interestingly, the Catholic Church has distinctions between the amount of honor it gives honor versus worship, and it actually uses Greek words for this. So,
Greek.
I know.
John's the Greek scholar, I'm the Latin scholar. Yeah.
So, latria is the word that we use to describe the worship that we give to God. No saint, you can't even put it on a scale, the comparison of what worship is.
This is why we don't worship saints.
We don't worship saints. It is giving the honor that is due to God as creator, highest good itself.
Right.
But the Catholic Church actually has words to describe, a word to describe the honor we give to saints, which is dulia. But it actually has 2 specific words about dulia that describes actually the first and second rankings on these lists. The Catholic Church has a word hyperdulia, which describes the honor that we give to Mary as the highest honor we give any human being that is not worship of Christ.
Yeah.
And then it actually is one that I've heard used before. I haven't seen it in a lot of places, but protodulia.
Is protodulia an officially defined thing, or is it just a couple of the saints have written about it?
I don't know. I'm honest, but I heard Father Joachim talking about this, and I've heard it used enough that I know it may not be official, like any official.
I'm not convinced it's a real thing in as much as it's like it hasn't been defined compared to Mary, which hyperdulia has been so clearly talked about and defined by theologians that it is. But then this protodulia, which is what we give to Joseph.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that like protodulia is what we give to Joseph. Like theoretically, this thing that has been described by a number of saints, I think Bellarmine is one of them, right? Mm-hmm. So a number of great saints and great theologians have sort of given this protodulia, which is like if hyperdulia means like highest honor, protodulia means like first honor or something like that. Whereas the highest comes before the first, I guess. And so that's why I feel like it should be like a second dulia. Like it should be dulia and second dulia.
But I think it's good. The fact that even if the term hasn't been defined well, it does give us a terminology to explain that we have the highest honor of all humans apart from the worship we give to Christ.
Right.
Is for Mary. But then Joseph actually takes, and this is something that some priests that I've talked to before is, and I've actually heard Bishop Barron mentions this one point, he has a homily on this, where he talks about the greatest male saint in the Catholic Church, not a bishop, not a pope, not a monk, not like a preacher out in the world somewhere. Yeah. It's a married man who was a carpenter.
Yeah.
It's
very, I mean, it's just thinking about it, it's very obvious that Joseph is the second greatest saint. Mm-hmm. Right. Anyway, so 1 and 2 are sort of cemented up there with Mary and Joseph.
And I'm almost wondering, do we want to do a ranking like top 12 saints with just the exception of like Mary and Joseph?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, so 1 and 2, it's like they cannot be like there's no argument to this. This is defined. So then what are the next 10?
Yeah, I see where they're going with John the Baptist. I mean, Jesus himself says there is none born of woman who is greater than.
So I think that's the right answer. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's the right answer, and it's because of the Confideor, right? Confideor de omnipotente, beata Maria semper virgine, beata Michaeli arcangelo.
Okay. Would you translate for the translate?
Beata Ioanne Baptiste. Mm-hmm. So, and then it's I confess. So in the Latin Mass. Right. Oh, Matthew's talking about the Latin Mass again. What a surprise. So the Confideor that we say now has been altered from the confiteor that we used to say. And so the confiteor that we say now is, I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters, that I have greatly sinned in my thoughts and in my words. Translation of the what we used to say is, I confess to Almighty God, to the Blessed Virgin Mary, to Saint Michael the Archangel, to Saint John the Baptist, to the blessed apostles Peter and Paul, Beata Maria Virgine, Beata Michael Arcangela, Beato Ioanna Baptiste, Sanctus Apostles Petro Paolo, et omnes sanctis, and all the saints. And then, so the Benedictines will say to and our Holy Father Benedict or something like that. Mm-hmm. And to you, Father, et te pater. And so that's the thing is that and then we say it again, right? And so we do say this in the Novus Ordo now is that through my fault, through my most gracious fault. Therefore, I ask the Blessed Mary, ever Virgin.
Fault.
Did I say gracious?
Grievous.
Oh my
fault.
gosh, grievous fault. Therefore, I ask the Blessed Mary, ever Virgin, all the angels and saints. And so we do the same thing again. Let me pull out my missal so that I can just do this the right way. But so that's the thing that
you would say that.
Hey,
Michael comes next.
Fine. Yeah. So I guess so. Oh, I'm up
it does say
right now.
To be fair, Christ does say none born of woman.
So this is, I confess to Almighty God, to Blessed Mary, our Virgin, to Blessed Michael the Archangel, to Blessed John the Baptist, to the Holy Apostles Peter and Paul, to all the saints, and to you, brethren. What is it? Oh, at vobis fratres. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Ha 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 ha. Mea culpa.
That I have maxima culpa.
Now, this is not an official translation because there is no official translation of the Latin Mass, but that I have sinned exceedingly in thought, word, and deed through my fault, through my most grievous fault. Therefore, I beseech Blessed Mary, our Virgin, Blessed Michael the Archangel, Blessed John the Baptist, the Holy Apostles Peter and Paul, all the saints, and you, brethren, to pray to the Lord our God for me. And so that's that feels like a clear. Now, see, but Joseph also isn't mentioned in here. But if you go to the canon, right? So this is the next question. It's let's go to the canon. Here's the preface.
Yeah. This glorious Virgin Mary,
in communion with and honoring the memory first of the glorious ever Virgin Mary, Mother of our God and Lord Jesus Christ, and also of blessed Joseph, her spouse, and of thy blessed apostles and martyrs, Peter and Paul, Andrew, James, John. See, but this is we're skipping Michael, we're skipping John the Baptist, and just go straight to the apostles. Peter and Paul, Andrew, James, John, Thomas, James, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Simon, and Thaddeus, Linus, Cletus, Clement, Thasus, Cornelius, Cyprian, and Lars, Chrysogonus, John and Paul, Cosmos, and Damian, and all thy saints, right? And then we have another set, right?
Then you have your holy martyrs, Stephen, Matthias.
Melchizedek is mentioned, right? All of this kind of stuff. To us sinners and thy servants, hoping the multitude of thy mercy.
Mentioned.
Thou art right, Abel, right? And so the holy apostles and martyrs with John, Stephen, Matthias, Barnabas, Ignatius. That's my guy. Alexander, Marcellinus, Peter, Felicitas. Felicity. Well, it says Felicitas here. Perpetua, Agatha, Lucy, Agnes, Cecilia, Anastasia, and with all thy saints, right? And so, I don't know. Is Michael second? So I agree that John the Baptist is first. Mm-hmm. Because
John the Baptist is before Michael?
Is first. Because, yes, I agree. Because of what Jesus said. You're right. It's basically there is no... Well, here's the thing. They're 1 and 2 with each other. And so that's the thing. Is that Jesus says there is none greater born of woman. Michael has not been born of woman.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that if you put Michael up there, do you put Raphael and Gabriel up there too?
Well, I also wonder, because it's also important to consider the holiness for humans is different than holiness because humans, the beauty of being a human, which feels like it sucks sometimes, is we change. Is the fact that at one point we're totally on fire for God and we're giving him everything. And then something happens and we're not.
Yeah.
With the angels, because they are pure spirit, they make a decision once.
Yeah.
They make a decision once for all.
So are we saying that St. Michael's actually just the lowest of the saints? Is actually the least pious saint?
Well, the thing is, just because they choose once, they can give a greater amount. Like there's a greater way to lay down.
So then is he the best saint?
I don't know. This is
what are we ranking right now? Are we ranking the holiness of saints?
What I'm arguing is that I wouldn't put it feels hard to rank humans against angels.
So let's remove the angels then and just rank humans. Yeah. So then it's John the Baptist. That is first.
With the caveat, we put an asterisk there. We say angels not included.
Angels not included. Mary and Joseph not included because of their superiority. Angels not included because they're not humans. Now we're just ranking humans. Okay, John the Baptist, Peter. Abraham, our father in faith. That's hard. Well, because Elijah and Abraham show up at the Transfiguration.
Elijah and Moses.
Oh, Elijah and Moses, right? I'm sorry. No,
Well,
you're right.
well, that's also, that doesn't necessarily mean necessarily how holy they are. A symbol of the law and the prophets.
Right. But still, like, you can't just look at that and be like, ah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's nothing, but I'm also saying like St. Peter, the first pope, the person that we're playing a ranking off of put St. John the Apostle.
I like John the Beloved, but do I like it more than Peter? That doesn't. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because
He stayed with Christ.
He stayed with Christ, but then also laid his head upon Jesus' breast, and no one else does that. Right? There's that intimacy between Jesus and there's that sort of. There's more of a connection there between, right? I think Jesus likes John the Beloved more than he likes Peter.
Well, I don't. No, God likes us all. Like,
No. Do it for the memes. God might love us all equally, but Jesus is human.
Are you saying Jesus is not God?
No, I'm saying he's God. I'm just also saying that he's human.
So are you saying the human nature of Jesus
Likes John the Beloved more than he likes Peter.
Well, I think. Do you know what?
Jesus never calls John Satan. Retro vade Satana, right? He never says that to anyone other than Peter. So therefore, he hates Peter the most.
No,
He does not.
Okay. What I find interesting here, though, and this was something that someone asked me about in relation to the Pope, and I find this actually really interesting because the Pope is, of course, Christ's vicar on earth. He's the head of the Catholic Church.
Right.
But there are so many like if you think of the old monks who seem like so much holier because all they do is they pray 24/7.
This is what Pope St. Gregory the Great did. And he's this monk doing the monk things. And they're like, we want you to be Pope. And he's like, no, stop it. I don't want to. And so he becomes Pope anyway. And at one point in his writings, it's really funny in the Gregorian dialogues, he's writing about this and he's like, can I just go back to being a monk? I'm tired of dealing with people. Like, I just want to pray and be around God all the time. And it's like, oh, not me. I like people.
Yeah.
And so like, this is a real thing.
But it's an expression of like the different ways, and this is where like spiritualities come, like the actuality of spiritualities. So like, or charism is John the Beloved, from what we know of his life, even though he was called to preach, like we know he was called to preach, but at the end of his life was very, very contemplative from what we know, like when he has the visions of Revelation. Like he's on Patmos, he's been exiled at this point and is spending much more time from what I know. Side story that I love about him, he would preach to people, and at one point they would carry him out of a cave and like he would preach. And at one point he just started every single day, all he would say was, little children, love one another. And finally someone pipes up and is like, get some new material. And he's like, until you learn to do this, nothing else will help.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
But the point being, like, Peter messes up, but Peter also is doing, like, he is the active expression of the church. And so, like, if we think about monks and nuns, they have this incredible intimacy with Christ because they are spending all their time in prayer. But does that make them holier than the people who are doing actively the will of God, like the popes and the bishops who are? It may make them more intimate, but that doesn't necessarily mean more holy.
Sure, yeah. Still avoiding the question. I think John goes above Peter.
I think
it's John the Baptist. They're your team. Your name is John.
I know. Yes.
It's John the Baptist, John the Beloved.
Okay. My other plug here for John the Beloved,
Peter.
My other plug for John the Beloved, as a big person supportive of Mary and devotion and stuff, closest person to Mary.
See,
the closer you are to Mary, if the
Jesus liked Peter more, he would have given Mary to Peter. It's so obvious, dude. It's so obvious. So it's John the Baptist, John the Beloved. Can we put any of the Old Testament, like they're still Jews. So, and we know that Catholics hate the Jews. So
that's a wild statement. This is where you have to trust that Matthew's trolling.
This is not. Oh, whoa! My chair just went down. This is not an official, teenage Catholic podcast statement.
Also, this ranking is not an official. Official ranking of the church.
No, this is ex cathedra.
Hey, you are sitting in a chair. It is from the chair.
It is from a chair. I'll say that much. It is ex ille cathedra. It is from this chair. Dixit ex ille cathedra.
I feel like you have to put Paul next to Peter.
So it's John, Peter, Paul.
Is what my feeling is.
Okay, cool. I'm excluding the Old Testament people because I think they could not have had the fullness of Like I just think, even though they may have been the coolest and may have like been prophets and all that kind of stuff, it's like cool. Don't care.
I don't. Abraham for me.
I think the only argument you can make is like for the patriarch specifically. I don't think you can make the same argument for the prophets.
I don't know.
I think
Mary was assumed into heaven. Elijah was assumed into heaven. I'm just saying. Enoch.
I also think
Saint Adam and Eve. Are
they
were
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
From what I know, fact check me on that.
Abel.
But I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church admits that even though they fell, that Adam eventually,
Whoa.
Adam and Eve are like,
You guess what their feast day is?
when?
Guess.
Like,
It's not like a random day in the year. It is a specific day.
January 1st.
That's a really good guess, and you're really close.
December 31st? I know that's Saint Sylvester.
Slightly closer.
December 30th.
Slightly closer.
December 29th.
All right, come on.
26th.
Come on.
25th.
So close.
24th.
Yes.
Okay.
Christmas Eve is their feast day,
Huh, that's interesting.
which is really cool.
But yeah, because
No, they screwed it up for everyone. They're on they're latched on.
yes, but they also had original justice. We don't know how long they were in the garden before they fell.
No more than 3,000 years.
To fit with your time schedule.
Yeah, with my young Earth creation again. Nope. Okay, I'm wiping out everyone in the Old Testament for ease of this. For ease.
Okay, so we've got three. Do we have to do three rankings now? We've got
So it's Mary. It's Mary and Joseph.
we've got Mary and Joseph off to the side. We've got post Jesus humans. We've got Old Testament and then angels.
Yeah. Well, so angels, it's pretty obvious that it's Michael, Gabriel, Raphael.
I'm not arguing that, but there's the whole thing about like the different choirs of like levels of choirs of
Well,
angels.
archangels are the lowest choir of angels.
Yeah.
Which means they'd be the highest in holiness, right? Because they do the last shall be first, you know? Anyway, we can do the Old Testament ranking later. This is just
New Testament.
circa 2 BC to the modern day.
No, does anyone living in 2 BC? Anne and Joachim? Like, no.
The Holy Archbishop himself?
If they are not officially canonized by the Catholic Church.
It's my list, John, okay?
Oh, we went from this official Catholic Church ranking to
I'm speaking ex cathedra.
Ex-Ela Cathedra. Yeah, I would say,
Okay,
probably
so
say
John,
Peter,
John,
Paul.
Peter, Paul.
The issue is I feel like we're just automatically going to do all like biblical
All
figures.
of the apostles
But,
that would be like they were closest to Jesus.
Yes,
Mary
but-
Magdalene?
Yeah, but there are some like modern saints that if you're going to talk about like intimacy or impact that they've had.
Maybe we need 4 lists. We're putting the biblical list together. the biblical New Testament list, the biblical Old Testament list, the non-biblical list. That's just the doctors of the church, I'll be real.
I think it really depends.
Okay.
Because like for me in my mind, like I would throw Therese higher on the West. I would throw Therese of Lisieux. Therese of Lisieux.
Yeah, okay.
But that's like, how do you rank, like ranking Therese against the apostles is like.
Yeah, okay. So we're doing an apostle, a New Testament list right now.
Okay.
So we've got John the Baptist, John the Beloved, Peter, Paul.
Andrew, James, Thomas, Philip, Bartholomew.
Oh, no, I seriously think that, like, does Mary Magdalene make this list? Because Mary Magdalene is also the only person that...
Only other one
that...
there, the mother of Clopas, Mary, the mother of Clopas, was there? Like, there were a number of women of Jerusalem who were there.
Don't care. Doesn't fit my narrative.
It doesn't fit the Matthew Badman Saints narrative.
It does not fit. So, no, this is rough. Okay, so, all right, John, and Peter, Paul. Andrew. Right, because it was John, Peter, and Andrew, right? And they were always being called.
But James also, like, at the Transfiguration, wasn't it?
No, Peter, John, and Andrew. Or is Andrew the one who's left out? There's Peter, James, and John.
That's what it was, because Peter, James, and John do some things together. And James is known as James, like the patriarch of Jerusalem. The patriarch of Jerusalem.
Yeah, so maybe...
And he presides over the first church council. That's what I did my
Wait,
TNT.
so it's Peter, James, and John. So then...
The sons of thunder.
Sit at my left and right hand.
Yeah.
James
I don't
Andrew.
think I don't think James would go above Peter and Paul, though.
Right. I concur.
Yeah.
So I think it's John the Baptist, John the Beloved, Peter, Paul, James.
Do you just go apostles from that?
Titus.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
That Jude guy, whoever that Jude guy is.
Jude Thaddeus, patron saint of lost causes.
Yeah. Judas! Oh, Judas!
Everyone, when they hear that there's actually a second Judas.
I brought frankincense. I brought gold. I brought myrrh.
Murder.
Judas!
No.
Okay, so... John. All right, for ease, let's throw Mary and Joseph back into the New Testament list.
Okay, just
So Mary, Joseph, John, Peter, Paul, James, Andrew. We both want to say Andrew. Okay, so who are the final two? Matthew. Yeah, Matthew definitely goes.
What about Luke? Luke's not an apostle, but
see, but Matthew's a cooler name than Luke is.
my name made it to the top. I made it to the top 5.
Constantine?
No. Is he even officially canonized by the Catholic Church? I know the Eastern Orthodox venerate him.
I think the Eastern Catholics venerate him as well.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Man didn't get baptized at his deathbed. Maybe we throw Mary Magdalene in there. Or...
Do you think she was better than the apostles? But I don't know what we're asking still.
Like, it's so hard. Like, you're comparing apples and... What does it mean to be more holy? Like...
I am comparing apples and oranges. You can definitely compare... I hate that saying. You're comparing apples and oranges.
Well,
you can 100% compare... this one is red, this one is orange.
But if you're comparing an apple and how much apple... Like, in its appleness, an orange doesn't fit on the scale.
You can still compare it. This one is 100% apple. This one is 0% apple. Look, the apple is more apple than the orange is. I just compared the two.
No.
What
I'm
do you mean, no?
I'm saying you don't put them on, like, that's because you're measuring them by the wrong scale. Because if, what I'm saying is...
Well, then what's the right scale?
I'm saying the expression of holiness. Because this is what I was
think
saying
apples are holier than oranges are. No, oranges are way holier than apples because the type of orange is called a halo.
Ooh, Clementine.
So oranges have halos, but apples do not. Therefore, apples are in hell and oranges are in heaven.
There are clementines.
Like Clement?
Like Clement, like the Saint Clement. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And
blood oranges. What are we saved by? The blood of Christ. Oh,
sorry, God. I don't. There's a whole list, right? Submission to Rome, I think, is one of those too.
You forgot the swipe now, pay $50, you know?
No, never did that. Fake news. This is calumny again. You know what? The final two, we're just going to throw apples and oranges in those final two.
In those final two saint spots.
All right.
Contrary to popular belief, apples did not cause the fall. The traditional understanding
Tomatoes. Well, figs, I think.
Figs is generally
when Europeans came over to America the first time, they discovered tomatoes, and they were like, "It's the forbidden fruit." Tomatoes, that's the best you could come up with. We've got bananas over here, and the best thing we've
avocados.
You've got so many different things you're discovering. It's like tomato. It's like
tobacco.
Are you kidding? Tobacco is 100% the forbidden fruit. Oh my god.
The forbidden leaf.
The forbidden leaf. No, that's marijuana. And still is to this day. Geez, who are these final two people? Should I ask ChatGPT? This is why ChatGPT makes you dumb.
See, but this is the expression of why we don't use ChatGPT, is because we actually have to work through this and discuss, and we discover issues that we didn't know we were gonna, like defining holiness. Like, how are we defining? Like, holiness is to be set apart, but people are set apart in different ways. Like, The St. John Henry Newman's feast day was recently, and he has a famous quote that the Lord has appointed me to some mission that He has appointed to no other, and it's like, so how do you judge holiness? Like,
Okay, ask ChatGPT, which I hate doing. We're gonna play the guessing game. I'll give you some hints.
okay,
Number 1,
Mary,
yes. Number 2,
Joseph,
yes. Number 3,
St. John the Baptist,
yes. Number 4,
John the Evangelist.
no. John the Evangelist does not make the list.
Wow.
Number 4,
Era,
you're trying way too hard.
Peter,
Yes. Number 5,
Paul,
yes. Number 6, you really like this guy.
John Paul II.
Whoa, no, definitely not making the list.
I didn't think so, which is why I was confused for. I really like this. Era.
Stop. Who is this era person? Stop it with that.
I'm saying, what era do they?
Oh, era. Oh, I thought you were saying Saint Era.
No, like what era do they come from?
10 to 1500?
10 to 1500. Thomas Aquinas
No. Thomas Aquinas.
is 1200s.
Yes.
12 to 1500.
I think so.
It's not Bonaventure. There's no way they. He's
Yeah. 10 to 1500s. Closer to 1000s than 1500s.
who's the 1000?
Come on. This is the...
Francis. Yes. Oh, it's got to be. Yeah. How did I not?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to go. Like, and I know this isn't official, like at all official church teaching, but like a lot of medieval accounts of heaven, like if you're thinking like Divine Comedy, like level, like
Dante's got to be up.
Dante's got, is they put Francis in like some of the highest levels of heaven. Like people, there's a quote about St. Francis that he is the closest conformed to Christ of any human.
Well, he also got the stigmata, so...
Yeah. Canonically, unless you accept the belief that St. Paul had the stigmata, he's the earliest one to have the stigmata.
Very cool. Anyway, Francis is 6. Who is 7? It's a chick.
Era.
Who's this era person?
Saint Era.
12 to 1600.
12 to 1600. Catherine of Siena?
No, but I like that guess. It's very...
Claire of Assisi?
Nope. There are only so many chicks you can guess from that time who are this whole...
Oh, there are a lot. Oh, that would be on this list?
That would be on this list.
Teresa of Avila?
Yes, very good. Okay, number 8. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
John of the Cross?
Nope. Number 8 does not fall far from number 7. But
that's
in names and not...
Oh, Teresa of Lisieux?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I was about to say, because I was thinking John of the Cross, because John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila were
buddies.
contemporary. Yeah.
Contemporaries. That's a much better word. Number 9.
They also, but like from what I know, they reformed the Carmelite order together.
All right, number 9. You already said this guy.
I already said Peter Paul. Just say Paul?
You did say Paul. Paul's number 5.
Yeah. I already said him more. Thomas Aquinas?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 10. Modern?
Modern? Teresa of Lisieux?
No.
How modern?
We already did Teresa of Lisieux.
That's right. Sorry.
Within the past 100 years.
Teresa of Calcutta?
No. Oh, no.
Padre Pio?
Yes.
Really? Yes. Padre Pio? Just saying, 2 Franciscans on that list. 2 Franciscans on that list.
Notice how Jesus doesn't show up on this list. All right, honorable mentions. Can you guess them? Here, let me give you some hints. This guy sounds like an animal.
That's Peregrine.
Nope. That's a good guess, though. I like it. Just because of the hint I gave you.
Yeah.
Where he's from. Sounds like an animal.
Where he's from. Era. Saint Era.
Very early church, like church father.
Church father. Ignatius. Irenaeus.
Oh, come on, dude.
Augustine. Augustine. Jerome.
Which one are you guessing?
All of them.
I need you to give me a real guess.
Augustine.
Yes.
Okay, Hippo.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Okay, the next one you already guessed this chick.
Catherine of Siena.
Yes. Okay. Next guy.
She's one of the 4 female doctors of the church, right? Yeah.
I refuse to comment.
Yeah, what the church has officially declared.
I refuse to comment. Okay. Next. Shares a name with you.
John of the Cross.
No.
John Vianney.
Yes. Next one.
I would have thought John Chrysostom would have been a better guess.
I think there's significantly better guesses in this. I'm actually going to regenerate this and see what changes. Okay, next guess.
What are you just to put in ChatGPT? Nope. Try again.
No, I'm literally going to hit the try again button. there's like you know how you can redo. I'm just gonna hit it to redo. Okay, this next chick. Brendan would love this. Brendan and I have an inside joke about this chick. I'm currently wearing a medal that has to do with this chick.
Cecilia?
No, I don't think. Do I have a Cecilia medal?
I know you do a lot of music, so that was.
I have. That's a very good guess. I have
Bernadette,
yes,
because that's the miraculous medal.
Yep. And then final one. You really like this guy.
Maximilian Kolbe.
Yeah. Okay, let's try it again.
Hey, more Franciscans. I'm just saying, this is, for those of you who don't know,
if the Franciscans are holy.
for those of you who don't know, I was previously discerning with the Capuchins, and there's a joke among the Capuchins that the order, out of all the orders in the church, the order that has the most saints is the Franciscans. And out of all the types of Franciscans, the Franciscans that have the most saints are the Capuchins. Now, how they get that statistic, I have no clue.
Capuchins aren't real. Capuchins aren't real. Okay. I did it again. Mary, Joseph, John, Peter, Paul, or John the Baptist, Peter, Paul. St. Francis of Assisi is number 6.
Mm-hmm.
St. Therese of Lisieux is 7. Oh, wait, he was 6 last time.
Yeah.
Teresa of Avila is 8. St. John Vianney is number 9.
I
And then Padre Pio is 10.
No.
Excuse me, St. Pius of Pietrelcina.
St. John Vianney or Pronobis, but I wouldn't put, in terms of like there's so many, like Gregory the Great, or like...
Oh, yeah, well, the honorable mentions are Augustine, Catherine of Siena, Maximilian Kolbe, John of the Cross, and Francis Xavier.
I feel like there's...
St. Francis Xavier, are you kidding me? Where is St. Ignatius of Antioch?
Like I'm all for, like, I love my confirmation Saint Maximilian Kolbe, but there's so many like heavyweight early church saints that I feel like I'm having recency bias by putting him up that high. He fought the Nazis, which was incredible. Founded like monasteries in Japan, or
did what America should have done.
And but I'm not sure if he would like. I'm not sure if he would rank. He would rank in my top 10 favorites, but I'm not sure if we were to rank like holiest or most influential saints.
Okay, I asked it for the top 25.
Okay,
it just did a terrible job. This is why I hate ChatGPT.
So look it up on Catholic Answers. Catholic
Answers definitely doesn't have this. Trent Horn, we need this. So 1 through 5 is Mary, Joseph, John, Peter, Paul, and then number 6 is just anyone who started in order. So Francis of Assisi, Dominic de Guzman, Benedict of Nursia, Teresa of Avila, John of the Cross. Number 11 through 15 is Saints of the Heart and Mind.
What does that mean?
Augustine of Hippo, Thomas Aquinas, Catherine Siena, Francis Xavier, Therese of Lisieux. So it's just people who wrote. It's funny how Therese of Lisieux is 15th on this list, but 16 through 20, Saints of Penance, Charity, and Mission. John Vianney, Bernadette of Lourdes, Maximilian Kolbe, Pius of Pietrelcina, and Mother Teresa. 21 through 25, Holiness in Hidden and Heroic Forms. Joan of Arc, Ignatius of Loyola, Elizabeth of the Trinity. I don't know if I've ever heard of that chick before.
I have.
Francis de Sales, and
I think she goes by another name as well. Elizabeth of
de Montfort.
Ooh, Louis de Montfort, great pull. Once again, putting out that Marian pull. Closer you are to Mary, closer you are to Christ.
The Marian theologian is what we call him. Yeah, no, she just goes by Elizabeth of the Trinity. She died in Dijon.
What year?
1906. Yeah, no, this is why I hate ChatGPT. It's wrong. So anyway, we really got to finish this list up. So we've got Mary, Joseph, John, Peter, Paul, James, Andrew. Mary, Joseph, John,
That's
Peter,
8.
Paul, James, Andrew.
I think we got to throw.
This is New Testament only.
Yeah, this is New Testament only. I feel Mary Magdalene was at the foot of the cross.
Mary Magdalene, I think, is a good answer. I think any of the gospel writers are also a good answer. So Mark, Luke, or Matthew.
Matthew was also an apostle. Mary Magdalene and Matthew.
Yes. So I think that.
Who are you putting at 9 or 10? Matthew at 9, Mary Magdalene at 10?
Yo, this is so rough. Can we go back to making tier lists of foods to eat on Fridays during Lent? That was so much easier. Who wrote books in the New Testament? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, so Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, 1st and 2nd Titus, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrew, James, Peter, John, Jude, Revelation. I can do the Old Testament too if you'd like. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Ezra, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. You know I'm Protestant because I'm missing 7 books.
Can you name the 7?
Yes, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, Tobit, Judith, Sirach, Wisdom, and Barak.
You say Barak.
Baruch.
And parts of Daniel.
Parts of Daniel, yes. And parts of one of the New Testament books, too, that Martin Luther really didn't like. Anyways. Yeah, I'm going to go with Matthew and Mary Magdalene. So that makes it Mary. So the final TCP ranking
For New Testament saints.
for New Testament saints only, as determined by us, is Mary, Mother of God, Joseph, foster father of Jesus, John the Baptist, John the Beloved, Peter, Paul, James, Andrew, Matthew, Mary Magdalene.
Yep.
I think that's a good list. I think we should get some
We should send this to Rome.
Yeah, we should. We really should. We need a papal ranking. What does Pope Leo think? He's putting Augustine way up.
I think he's just going to send us the verse back where it's the Bible verse about the apostles arguing amongst themselves of who is the greatest.
Yeah.
And Jesus is like, why are you doing this?
Knock it off, guys. Knock it off.
The multiple times they do that.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Thomas. Great redemption arc from that guy. St. Thomas Aquinas is literally like, I'm not like Thomas. And his Leodora Vita Prote. It was so funny when you were singing that earlier. And it's like, what are the words? It's
I'm not like Thomas wounds I cannot see.
no. But what is it in Latin?
Plaga sicut Thomas.
Yeah, it's like
No intueo.
Plaga sicut Thomas, non intueo. It's like, it's the same thing when you'll hear like Spanish ads or something like that. It'll be like a medicine ad or something like that. It'll be like, Dupixent. Dupixent. It's like, oh, what? So
Did I pronounce it with?
yeah, you're like sicut plagas Thomas.
I thought I generally say Thomas.
You were like Thomas. Anyway,
Fair enough.
Anyways, I think we're kind of losing it at this point. Any further comments on the greatest saints?
I think we got to do other rankings or sort saints into categories of like this saint I would have a meal with this saint.
So I think one day we need to have a saint like draft. So we'll get Father Joachim on here. We'll do a saint draft.
Ooh.
Father Joachim or Father Barnabas. We'll have a saint draft, and it's not like it's like, oh, have you ever seen? Okay, so like theoretically, first round pick. Who's the first saint you're picking?
Can I pick Mary?
Yeah,
Mary.
Okay, but why?
Because for me, firstly, I'm a big Marian devotee person, like consecration to Mary, Louis de Montfort. For me, the Mary is the route to which I go to Christ. And so the more that I am closer to her, the more I learn about Christ, and the more I'm conformed to her, the more I'm conformed to Christ. And so it is the most human, Christ is of course human, but it's the most approachable but highest form of humanity. And I mean, Christ's mom, she's got the most sway in heaven. Like,
That's true. So I didn't tell you what we're drafting for. I'm choosing St. Christopher because he's going to be my center, and I'm going to absolutely wreck you guys in this basketball game. So with that in mind, my number 2 pick, because we're doing a snake draft, will be Saint... I'm gonna do Saint John the Beloved because that guy was fast. Beat Peter to the tomb. So that kind of stuff.
St. John Bosco played lots of sports with the kids.
True. Okay, I'm gonna do Blessed Michael McGivney because he was a boxer.
Ooh. Like on the basketball court?
Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen Draymond Green? Is after chokehold Dennis Rodman? Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Not Bubba Wallace. What's his name? Bubba Wallace is the race car driver. Shoot, what's his name? I'm blanking on it. Ben Wallace, that's his name. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of the Malice at the Palace? Who else would? All right, with that in mind, I think we can do a Saints basketball draft later. I gotta go pick up my roommate. We gotta go grocery shopping. So I'm cutting it off here.
All right.
This is the point where I tell everybody to do the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, push us through the algorithm because we want to get this out to other people. We want to have some fun. We want to, hear your guys and your suggestions and all that kind of stuff. Let us know what you think of John. Let me know if you hate him or if you don't. I can kick him off here. I know that I'm the fan favorite, obviously, so...
You just run the media.
That's true. That's true. And you know who else runs the media, John? You know who else runs the media? That's right. We're not allowed to say it on YouTube. Okay. Anyway,
I did not get that.
Yeah, that hit harder than a brick. David, I'm calling you out right now. David, please leave a comment. My boy David out there will always leave a comment on these things. If he even sees it. I don't even know if he has his phone right now. Anyway, David, I miss you. Please leave a comment whenever you see this. I hope you're doing well. Brendan and Joe, get your butts over here and maybe we can record something. And we'll see how things go.
Crossover event of the century.
Yeah, right. John and Joe and Brendan meet each other. They fight. You'd be able to take out Brendan pretty easily. I'm not sure about Joe. If Joe turned sideways, I think he's like Flat Stanley. I'm pretty sure a strong gust of wind could blow that guy over. But also, like, if he turned sideways, you wouldn't be able to find him. Anyway, do the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. Share this with your friends, especially with the other teenagers. We're just trying to have a good time here. We're going to make a bunch of memes. r/TCP will be going crazy sooner or later. With that being said, I'm Matthew.
I'm John.
Okay, that's weird.
I'm John.
That's really weird. That's weird person behavior. What are you doing? This is TM weird person behavior.
There you go. Me, your trademarked weirdo.
Yes, real. Get wrecked. Checkmate, liberals. Anyway, with that being said, this is the TCP. We're signing off for now. Deus Volt.
See all you dudes in the next video.
Deus Volt or something like that, I guess.